So everybody clearly knows how much I love dogs, and I think I have absolutely met my equal. Her name is Marcella Bursey Brooks, and she has a wonderful book out that we're going to talk about here on Author's Corner, For Dogs and Their Tails. I love the cover. I love the book, and she's just a wonderful person. So we're thrilled to have her with us. Marcy, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. My pleasure.
What made you write this book?
Well, I'd always thought I would like to write a book, and I come from a large family. I'm one of the younger members, and all the older members are wonderful at math and, you know, physics and so on. And I was always the wordsmith. But my husband was ill, and we couldn't travel. And so I always have a goal or something, some project I'm working on. And I thought, well, why don't you write a book? And nobody had ever told me how to write one. But I, I just knew that you should write about something that you are passionate about and that you know something about. And I love cats. I love dogs. I've even had fish. And so I thought, let me write about dogs and try to write from the dog's perspective, or at least much of it from the dog's perspective, because my experience is they're highly intelligent, our family pets, and they emotionally sense what you are feeling and they understand words. And I thought dogs would be good to write about because they are very companionable and they serve our society in so many ways for the betterment of our society. I don't know what we would do without dogs. So I just started to write the book and I thought it would be short, but it kind of went on and on. So it's not a short book. And the title would lead one to believe that it might be a children's book, but it ended up not being a children's book. I would love to see it be as a series on TV or a movie, because that would really give you a much larger age range of who would enjoy it. I think as a series or a movie, um, kids as young as 9, 10, and 11 could enjoy it along with the parents and the grandparents and the great grandparents. And I'm actually going to have a segmented script written by a professional soon. And we'll see if some production companies would be interested.
Wow, well, that's exciting. And you talk about the book, and I was just thinking, even in the beginning of the book, just the various conversations, you talk about Topaz, and I thought, how many people can relate to this? Rested contently on the stone pathway that had been warmed by early spring sunshine. I cannot tell you how many dogs, and maybe many of you have experienced this. You're walking somewhere and you see a dog just embracing the sun and soaking it up. And I loved that line. Tell us more about the book. Tell us more about those kinds of stories.
Well, I really wanted to tell much of it, if not all of it, from the perspective of the dogs. And I did have a German Shorthaired Pointer, and her name was Topaz, and she had a mother, and her name was Tosh. And they're so intelligent, and they love being with us, and they like their creature comforts like we do, and they have specific foods that they love. And I did have also Tibetan Spaniels, because as I got older, got a little more difficult to lift, a large dog. But they have food preferences like we do, like the little Tibetan Spaniels. They had a sweet tooth. And excuse me, they did not have a sweet tooth, but the German Short-Haired Pointer's mother and daughter did have a sweet tooth. So, they're like humans. They have specific likes and dislikes. And they really love being with us, and they love having something to do and or learn something. I built it around dog agility because in dog agility, it's equal. You need a person and you need the dog, and each is equally important. And there is a reason why we don't have cat agility. If you asked a cat to jump over something, they look at you like, why? Why should I do that? What's the reason? And but with the dog, it's like, oh, good, this is a game. Yes, let's do this. And the dog and the handler are equally important. So that's why I kind of chose dog agility. And then that brought me to something that is dear to my heart. I really think that airlines and all types of travel should be sure that your family pet is treated like a member, not shuffled into luggage. It's always of great concern if you're on a trip and you are flying, and it's not, if there's going to be a stop and a plane change, and sometimes your luggage doesn't make it, and sometimes the pet doesn't. And there have been incidences when that has happened. So I thought, and I really honestly don't know what the conditions are in the luggage compartment. I don't know if the air compression is the same. I don't know if it's hot or if it's cold. And I do have this on my website. I keep seeing in my mind's eye the picture of that plane that Captain Sullenberger landed in the Hudson River, and all the people were standing on the wings. And it's people from all over nearby who had boats, everyone was rescued. And they said, everyone was rescued. Well, I thought, if you had a dog or a cat, they could be beneath the waterline with luggage. And I think it airlines should have certain aircraft that are pet friendly. So if anyone is allergic to pet dander, they can say, I don't want an aircraft that's pet friendly. But I have traveled and there have been dogs, usually small dogs, and they're no problem. They don't bark, they're no threat to anyone. So airlines, I think, would make more money. They should modify certain aircraft and say they're pet friendly, and maybe have a hydraulic lift to get a very large dog up into the aircraft. And dogs are highly intelligent, and airlines, I think, would make more money. They could charge according to the size, the amount of room that the dog takes up, and the weight, as opposed to, let's say, a little Chihuahua who could just sit on your lap
Yeah.
or have on the seat next to you. But a Neapolitan Mastiff would take a lot more room, but have something, a larger door, ingress, egress door, hydraulic lift, and get a very large dog in a airline approved kennel,
Yeah.
and have it affixed to the wall.
Sure.
And they're highly intelligent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great,
I've
it's a wonderful, wonderful idea. I like how on the cover too, you say, you quote Emily Dickinson once said, dogs are better than human beings because they know but do not tell.
That's right.
Boy,
That's
isn't
right.
that the truth? You are full of good ideas. By the way, For Dogs and Their Tails, you can get this book on Amazon, Barnes& Noble, wherever great books are sold. What do you hope
Yes.
people take away from reading your book? How do you hope they feel after they finish it?
Well, I would hope that they would talk to airlines and say, I want to be sure my pet is safe. I want them in the passenger cabin with me. Can that be arranged? And I'm willing, to pay for a seat or the room that they take up, and just keep asking for it. And I think that airlines will come around and understand, well, this could be money making instead of just stuffing them in luggage. we can make more money. And this is what people want. And nowadays, people do regard their family pet, be it a cat or a dog or whatever, as a family member.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, as you said, if people want to know more, you mentioned your website. Tell us your website.
It's marcellabrooks.net. Also, you could just pull up 4 dogs and their tails.
I love it. Thanks, Marcy.
Visit us at www.greatwritersmedia.com. Email us at info@greatwritersmedia.com or call us at +1 877 556 0487.